This week, the Apex Legends developers said blocking Linux and Steam Deck gamers led to a meaningful reduction in cheating. We'll talk about it. Plus, we got an update to Command & Conquer Combined Arms, and it's pretty awesome. And Valve just categorically denied the latest hardware rumors. What's that about? All this and more today. That's right, it's Steam Deck and Linux gaming news time. So recently, a new version of glibc has been causing issues with a few games on Steam. Two of them are apparently Left 4 Dead 2 and Portal 2. Now, these games are absolute classics, and Valve's fairly well known for maintaining their titles well after launch, unless it's Team Fortress 2, am I right? Fittingly, Portal 2 and Left 4 Dead 2 got updates this week. These updates were simple and straight to the point. They fixed a crash which was caused by the new dependency. And you know what? I figured it was worth mentioning, because hey, it's not that often that we get updates to these games. You might find it worth your while to actually read the GitHub discussion about this issue, but only if you're a super nerd like me and you're willing to geek out about like really deep technical issues. So you might know that I'm a huge Command & Conquer fan. I've loved these games for as long as I can remember. There's a free and open source project called OpenRA, which is a full community-made re-implementation of the classic Westwood Command & Conquer engines. We have the original CNC here, we have Red Alert, and we even have Dune 2000. There's even a Tiberian Sun mod in the mix. These are brilliant games, and OpenRA makes them accessible to modern audiences, and for that, I appreciate it. But there's also some cool stuff surrounding OpenRA. There's a standalone game called CNC Combined Arms, which is built on the OpenRA engine. It features the Allies, Soviets, GDI, Nod, and even the Skrin as playable factions here. Each faction has its own sub-factions, units, powers, and upgrades, and it makes for an incredibly fun time. And there's now a new update out for it as well. This one is massive too, with over 190 entries on the version 1.05 changelog. I mean, just look at this. Look at how much they've changed here. It's a lot of balancing and fixes, but there's also some updates to the game itself. Very cool stuff to see. Some of the standout changes include campaign progress tracking, new music, balancing changes, and more. If you want to try the game out on Linux or on your Steam Deck, there's an app image that you can find at the link below. Just go ahead and download the app image, and you might need to mark it as executable by right-clicking on it and hitting Properties, and then mark as executable. But then just double-click it and launch it, and it's ready to go. It's pretty cool, I have to admit. Now it's time for Deals of the Week, where we review some of the best bundles and sales to help you grow your library and your knowledge. So if you're looking to increase your Linux know-how, there's a series of books right now on Humble, the O'Reilly Linux from Beginner to Professional bundle. This bundle has 15 books for just $18, and I think that for that price, it's got excellent value. Then on GOG, they've got their strategy promo going on right now. There are games that are up to 80% off right now, including Stronghold Crusader HD and Worms Armageddon. Plus, there are other deals like Manor Lords, Commandos 2 and 3, Stellaris, and many more available. You can use my affiliate links down below to help support the show at no additional cost to you, and if you use my links, thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, so a few months ago, I think it was back in November, Apex Legends announced that they were ripping Linux support out of the game. And according to them, this has resulted in a, quote, meaningful reduction in the amount of cheating recently. Now, if you believe their claim, then it seems that cheaters love to exploit Linux. Is this because Linux is less secure than Windows? No, it's not. It's because the Linux player base, while growing, is not large enough to support the monumental effort that is required by the developers of any game to stay on top of the ever-changing cheating landscape. Now, I see comments all the time asking if NT-Sync or the next Proton version or whatever is going to enable anti-cheat. The answer is no. Anti-cheat is already a solved problem on Linux. Like, the most popular anti-cheat vendors all support Linux. Easy Anti-Cheat, BattleEye, all of them. They all have Linux clients. The problem is that game developers are not doing the hard work and supporting Linux. And it is hard work. I personally think that regardless of if they have Linux support or not in their game, anti-cheat is an insurmountable task. It's an unbelievably impossible amount of work that is barely financially viable, and throwing a small player base into the mix makes it even less stable. The fact is, game developers have removed Linux support because it doesn't make financial sense right now. And you know what? If that is the case, I can't blame them for that. But I'd love to know what you think about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're down there, why not like that smash button? It's the best way to tell YouTube you want to see more videos just like this. And did you know that I release a new video every Monday and Friday morning? Get subscribed so you don't miss those. Now, I posted my Monday video this week too late. I posted it on Wednesday, and because of that, it didn't really get a lot of views. I talked about running DeepSeek on the Steam Deck, and if you want to check that out, you can check it out up here. It's actually performing really badly. I think it's because I missed my own window that I usually post my videos in. So if you want to help me make up some slack, you can check that video out here. All right, let's get back to the news. Now, if you're thinking about buying an early access game on Steam, then you might want to read the fine print. Valve's now adding a note to any early access game that hasn't received an update within the last year, saying, quote, "The last update made by the developers was over 12 months ago. The information and timeline described by the developers here may no longer be up to date." The fact is, Valve has been on a kick lately of making sure that their customers are informed before making a purchase. And this is the latest change in that quest. It's really good to see, and I'm here for it. And finally this week, a Valve contractor updated the Mesa graphics stack to support new AMD hardware. Somebody on Twitter, of all places, went off on a diatribe about how this updated driver could mean that the rumored Valve Fremont console could ship with an RX 9070. Then a YouTuber ran with this and made a video about it, thus signal boosting pure speculation, like absolutely baseless, uninformed speculation. However, Liam from Gaming on Linux, being the informed and respectable journalist that he is, posted a rebuttal that thoroughly debunked the ideas proposed in the Twitter diatribe. Essentially, Valve has been developing AMD's Linux drivers for years. I mean, AMD's involved, but Valve is doing a lot of the work here. All this really means is that there's a new AMD card on the way, and we already knew that, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to be included in the rumored, which means unconfirmed, console that we know as Fremont right now. When there's data mining from the Steam client, that's when speculation is fun and it makes sense to do. But when Valve's contributing to the kernel, especially when those contributions are to support hardware we already know is coming from third parties, it's just monkey business to be speculating and making claims and, positing on hypotheticals. But to shore up Liam's point, Valve's Pierre Lou retweeted Liam's article on Blue Sky, and he said, quote, "Thank you. We've done pre-release Mesa Vulkan work on every AMD architecture since Vega, thanks to them kindly providing hardware. So there's nothing meaningful to read into there." Yeah, literally nothing to see here, folks. But I wanted to signal boost the truth, and that's why I am highlighting Liam's article here. Anyway, this has been a great week for Steam Deck and Linux gaming news. I want to hear your take on anything that we've covered in today's video, so sound off in the comments below. But I also want to thank my patrons and my YouTube members for making this show a reality. If you'd like to see your name listed over here, then you can use the links below to make a monthly contribution. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on Monday, if I'm not late.